All right, so when I do I love the dumbbell bench press, by the way. It's one of my favorites. It really feels like it's working my pecs more than even a barbell bench press. I don't know if there's literature to support that. It just feels like that for me.
There is literature supporting
good,
it.
yeah. Look at that.
In general, dumbbell bench press gets better pectoral activation, especially on a per pound basis compared to barbell.
And I feel like dumbbells are obviously easier to find at certain places. You can, we want people to have dumbbells and barbells at home, but dumbbells are awesome. You can do so many things with them. So when I'm starting off like this, I like to grab them, put them to my side. You saw in this last video how I did it, but put them in front of my knees and then sit down. And then when I sit back, I kind of kick them back like this. Does that sound about right?
Yep, definitely works well. Sometimes I like to, if it's heavier, I'll sometimes put the dumbbell closer to my hip so that I don't have to kick. But anywhere from knee to hip, whatever feels comfortable for you with a nice tucked elbow position. You saw Dr. Spencer do a really good job with that. Helps you set up in a good position when you're down on the bench.
Yeah, you don't want to go like this and, hurt yourself. You hurt your pec or your shoulder or whatever if you get it too far away from your body.
Right.
So we get it close and you start at this low position right here. Now, we like to do a full range of motion as much as possible, but you need to really almost pull back to get as far range of motion, or should you let it go as far as it stretches?
We want to let it go until we feel a decent stretch, but not lose our shoulder positioning. So what will happen if you go too far is you'll start to roll forward. It's called an anterior glide, and that's just an awkward position. It's not very strong, and we don't get extra credit for that.
Okay, so you start low. What about your elbows? Do you keep them at about a 90 degree angle?
Yep, anywhere from 90 to 45 is going to be a good range, somewhere within here. What we don't want is the elbows to get above the shoulders. Again, that's just not a strong or stable position. The rule is we want our joints stacked, right? So you can see here that for Dr. Spencer, the dumbbell and his wrist is aligned right over his elbow, right? He's not here.
It's not going like this or going like this, keeping it straight like this.
When our joints are stacked, we can more efficiently produce force and more easily lift the dumbbells.
Now, you could keep your elbows in, but I don't feel it as much as my pecs or my shoulders if I'm doing that necessarily.
Right.
Flare them out a little bit, but not so far to where it doesn't feel good, honestly.
Exactly. Flaring the elbows, what we would refer to as abduction, is going to increase how much pec activation we get. But if that bothers your shoulders, or if you have any history of shoulder injuries, moving your elbows in and having your palms facing each other is okay too, and that's a little bit more stable position, but it's going to be less pec and more triceps.
Yeah. And that's with the barbell bench press. You can tuck your elbows a little bit more and flare, but your hand position is only stuck in the horizontal plane there. So all right, so I'm down here, and then any tips when pushing up?
Yeah, what we want to avoid is losing a position where we really round or thrust our shoulders forward. Again, that's just not a strong or stable position. So I like to think about pushing the dumbbells away from me and driving my back into the bench. This ensures that I have a really strong, stable platform so that I can press heavy weight. I also want to make sure that my legs are in a strong position. So we've got a vertical shin, a little bit of quad and glute activation to make sure that we have, again, a stable, strong base, because we can't fire a cannon from a canoe. We need to have a strong supporting area to be able to move heavy weight.
Yeah, so don't push it up here and then try to push even more.
No extra credit for that.
Extend your elbows this part.
Yep.
And come down.
Yep, a good rule is I shouldn't be able to slide my hand under Spencer's shoulders. If I can, that means he's gone too far.
Okay. All right, should be good.